Okay, Talismanic Magick. Knowing that by carrying a charged talisman, that you are carrying with you the energy of a planetary sphere, that you can begin to balance yourself out, or keep you tied to a powerful, positive planetary influence. Now, it's one of those things that it's hard to tell. You need to, through a lot of self-introspection and a lot of observation, find out if you live in an area that you feel is purposely being flooded with one type of particular energy. Now, that's hard to do, and I don't necessarily know if everyone's going to be able to do that. My best idea is that everyone listening who wants to be involved needs to start learning ceremonial magic. And I will give you one book that is not as if Aleister Crowley took a giant demonic shit in a box, shook it around, stuck his hands in it, and then finger painted his absolute pedophilic occultic ideas, okay? Aleister Crowley is a scumbag. Absolute Illuminati-owned scumbag. Pedophile scumbag. And believe me, powerful magician, but scumbag. Illuminati scumbag. I can't even tell you enough. So, the one book that is worthwhile, and I have no connection to this person whatsoever. None. I get no money for you seeking this book out, okay? It is just the one book that I know is readily available. There are other books I would rather you go read, but I know that they're out of print. I know that they're no longer being sold anymore, and most of them are probably from the 1600s. You're not going to find them. I'm sorry. So, the one book that I know everyone can get that is easy to understand. Once you've read this book, I can recommend a few others that don't have to go out of print, because the majority of people will never ever understand what these books are about because they have no grounding in the occult. This book will give you grounding in the occult. The book is, I think it's 12. It's 12 or 11 or 12 magical lessons in high magic by Donald Michael Craig. Okay? Find that book, Donald Michael Craig. I don't love the publishing company this comes from, but it is the one book that you can read that will give you a foundation on how to operate within ceremonial magic. Yes, you will get the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram. Do it. Is there a danger in the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram? Yes, but this is what it is. When you perform the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, what you are doing is you are showing everything on the astral plane where you are. And for about a 24-hour process, you are creating a powerful, impenetrable for the most part, protection sphere around you. What happens when that protection sphere, fades? Things interested in you will probably come within your sphere of influence. So yes, you need to continue to do it at least once a day. It takes 5 minutes at the most, okay? Most of you, will take 5 minutes to jack off or brush your teeth. Believe me, you can find 5 minutes to do the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, okay? Also, it'll introduce you to a couple other very strong, very good, solid rituals for you to at least begin to perform, okay? This will start to make you an actual practicing magician. Is there problems with the book? Yes, but they're few. Is there a problem with the publishing company? Yes, but sometimes, I'm sorry, unless some other publishing company buys this book, this is the only publishing company you're going to get. So I recommend that you get it from them, okay? This book will give you a strong understanding of how the Kabbalah and how magical ceremonial operations work. And you need to begin to practice these, to learn about these, to make you an effective working magician, so you have a root, so you have a foundation, so you know how to create and perform rituals with the information that I give you. I can give you very strong, powerful stuff, but unfortunately I'm learning that just because I have 20 years of experience in this doesn't mean that most people even know the basic material foundational practices of powerful occult work. You know, we all learn our lessons. So I want you to be able to take the information that I give you and just plug it into your own foundation, but it's a strong foundation. So get that book. It's by Donald Michael Craig. It has some dude, you know, he's like, he's holding the star pose, and he's got smoke billowing from his feet, and he's wearing a robe, and like there's a big, very beautiful blue pentagram in front of him. Okay, you'll be able to find this book. My only other advice is don't lend this book out to anyone, because I have owned this book probably close to 19 or 20 times in my entire life, and each time I lend it out, I never see it again. So buy this book, obtain this book. You can probably get it on eBay, whatever. Go to your used bookstores, it's probably there. Go to the library, read it chapter by chapter, whatever, I don't care. Read this book, okay? And then don't lend it out, because, or unless you never want to see it again, okay? Get that book. Talismanic Magick is very simple. You need to use the correspondences of a particular planetary realm. So because we're talking about Jupiter, let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter, or Hest, that planetary realm, is a royal blue. So if you're going to make a talisman, get something that's royal blue in color, okay? Now, the number 4 is, because it is the 4th Sephiroth, the number 4 is highly, highly potent into creating a sphere of planetary Jupiter, and the number 4 should appear on your talisman. It could be the number 4, it could be 4 certain things, it could be 4 corners, it could be 4 corners with 4 things of 4 symbols. Okay? It just, or even better, you would use 16, which is 4 things, 4 symbols, 4 corners, and in multiples of 4. Okay, so you have 4 times 4, which is 16. Okay, yes, numerology plays a big part in this. 4. Think the number 4. Okay. Also, you need to work within the sphere of that operation. So if you are using Jupiter to limit, restrict, and put a person in a mental box, it's not going to work, because that's the operation of Saturn, not Jupiter. You need to use Jupiter for what it is. Use Jupiter to bring you good luck. Use Jupiter to increase your personal influence. Creating a talisman of Jupiter does all the things of Jupiter. It just does them on a blanket effect, which is good. I actually use that a lot, because rarely do I have anything so specific that I need to create a talisman just for that. I create talismans of a planetary alignment to bring me the energy of that, and then you'd be surprised how well what happens after you wear it for about, you know, if it's Jupiter, it's going to be about 4 days. Okay, weird but true. So get, you know, also the planetary metal is tin. All right, so if you can find tin to work with, unless you're a metal worker, let's not try to work with the metals, okay? This is something that old magicians did. They had metallurgists working for them, okay? Today we don't necessarily have that, so we have to have what to do. Use a blue piece of paper, okay? Fold it so it has 4 corners, okay? Draw the planetary sphere symbol of Jupiter in 1 or maybe all 4 of those corners, okay? And then study what chest is. Study what Jupiter is. If you want money, draw the symbols for gold and silver, not the paper money symbol, okay? Think gold and silver, okay? Think friendship. Write friendship on there, okay? You might want to wrap this talisman around a small piece of amethyst. that is the talisman, or that is the gemstone of Jupiter. And then you might want to put this into a small blue pouch and then carry it in your pocket, or wrap it up in a small royal blue cloth. This is how you create the talisman of planetary Jupiter. When you're doing this, cast a circle, okay? You have to do it within a realm. Or roll down a blue blanket for you to stand on, okay? Light a royal blue candle with the planetary symbol of Jupiter on it. Call out to Jupiter. Call out to Zeus. Ask them to bless you and direct their blue beam of Jupiter into your realm, your sphere of personal influence. Ask them to charge this talisman with the energies of Jupiter and all things that you would need to go out and be the energy of Jupiter, the merciful helping hand of the earth. Ask them you want to develop a hand strong enough to weld the sword of Mars. They'll know what that means, okay? You want to develop a hand strong enough to be worthy of the influence of the sun, worthy of Tiparth. They'll know what that means too. This is to balance you out. I mean, there's so much more, but I want to give you something simple so you could just go do it. So many people have never actually done a magical ritual before. Some people call me and are like, some are even crying. They just, they don't know what to do. And the energy that they feel freaks them out, because then suddenly they realize it's real. This other presence comes into their sphere and they don't know what to do because they've been so programmed to be afraid of it. Yes, you work within magic, shit's going to happen to you. Not all of it bad. Energies are going to interact with you. You are going to feel sensations that are not you in your room when you sleep at night. That's what magic is. Fuck! That's what it is! So if you're going to get involved, if you're going to say, you know, I'm going to start having out-of-body experiences, I'm going to start dealing with spiritual entities, you have to be prepared to actually start doing that. It's insane. Like, I've had guys come into my judo school and are shocked that they actually have to grab and roll around with someone to learn how to get on a rear naked choke. They're like, I have to choke someone? Yes, you're learning judo. Okay? That's part of the practice. So if you're going to be a magician, you have to do magic. You have to do it. And you have to do what comes from doing magic. But you have to work within a strong, traditional, powerful, foundational place where things aren't complicated. They are not necessarily easy, but everything has a reason. Nothing in my tradition exists without reason. Nothing is added for the sake of adding. Nothing is over-mystified for the sake of over-mystifying. In fact, I think my order went to the extreme almost and tried to de-simplify it, which I think worked out quite a bit, because I think the older practices are pretty simple. But they do have you interact with powerful entities. You have to get used to that. Jupiter will not drop off a so-called demon at your doorstep. Stop with this bullshit. Demons are just wild spirits. Some of them good, some of them bad. Christianity is bullshit, okay? There are evil things out there, yes. But when you're working with an entity like Mars or an entity like Jupiter, guess what? You have the power to rebuke those negative energies. They can't say no. The only way they can say no is if you're one of those people that inside your heart has a strange, sick desire to actually be a slave. And believe me, there are those of you out there. You need to overthrow this programming, because the Illuminati has programmed you to be this slave. They don't want you strong. They don't want you powerful. Work within the sphere of Jupiter. Study about Jupiter. If you have questions, email me. I'm more than happy to try to do my best to answer them.